Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance, episode 27 of Guess the Trade. Back in episode 26, we looked at JTX tools. He had some Festool sustainers that had his drills and drivers and things like that in it. And then he also had that Milwaukee rolling box that he had configured with kind of some bucket organizers, all his hand tools, lots of other tools down within there. Really great setup. What was it that he did with those tools? He said that he is a GC in Southern California, so a general contractor. That means he does a lot of different things. So that's what he did with his tools. I think some people kind of guessed along that line. Today I'm also only going to look at one loadout, and that's because there's lots of pictures. I think there's 35 pictures total, 4 different bags that we're going to look at, lots of tools. He has a Vito DP3, a Vito MB5B, a Milwaukee structured tote, and then also a CLC backpack. So some different bags that we're going to look at today, lots of different tools. Let's go ahead and jump into Tim B's tools and see if we can guess what it is that he does. So the first bag of his that we're going to look at is this CLC tool backpack. I used to have one of these a long time ago of this brand. It was basically DeWalt had one and CLC had one. They were exactly identical except for the logos. And I had that one, but I mean, it was one of my first backpacks that I bought, and I didn't like it because of the bottom. It didn't have like a hard bottom or anything. That's why I ended up not liking it. This one inside of that, it looks like he's got some Klein screwdrivers of some kind or something that's got the handle type like Klein. He's also got a slotted and a Phillips, some ink pens, a Sharpie, some pencils, and then up in here he's got a non-contact voltage tester, looks like a service wrench, a couple non-contact voltage testers. I have to see if I can tell what that middle yellow thing is a little bit later. Possibly some tweezers over there on the left. So here's what we got here. Small bit case of some kind. Again, a Klein stubby, slotted in Phillips, and then it looks like a Klein stubby 1/4 inch and 5/16 nut driver as well. A couple box wrenches, 2 Fluke non-contact voltage testers, a little pocket level. I still can't tell what that thing in the, is that a temperature probe or something in the middle maybe? It's a little blurry that I can't see the brand name on it. I haven't seen that one particular. It looks like it's got something that folds out that looks like a temperature probe, but I don't see a screen or anything on it. It might be on that other side. We'll go over to the next picture. So here's another part of that CLC bag. Looks like he's got some pouches in there. Weha, Vera, and then also a Vito Pro Pack Tech Series. Looks like I haven't even seen that before. Open those up. So his Weha is a, I believe that's the torque screwdriver, because that's the little tool that you have to use to change the torque. So he's got that one. That one's been one that's been in my list for a long time. Been wanting to maybe get that one. I've been between that one and the Vera for the insulated torque screwdriver set. I don't really have to have one. Most of the time whenever I'm torquing something, I don't have power to it, so I'm not real worried about it. But there's not a lot of options for insulated torque screwdrivers out there, and Weha and Vera are 2 of the ones that I've looked at. But he's also got some Vera, another insulated set over there, and then down here he's got a Vera screwdriver set. I don't know, I can't remember if the light blue is that stainless steel possibly there. So those are what were inside those pouches. We go on over here. Another section of this bag, he's got the Klein hollow nut drivers. Those are the magnetic hollow nut drivers. My guess is going to be that's 1/4, 5/16 and 3/8. Also has a Klein insulated screwdriver. That's probably the Klein demo slotted. And then these look like probably 1/4, 5/16 and 3/8 as well. I can see blue and red, and I'm going to guess the yellow one's in the middle. So it's probably just a shorter shaft of this same exact thing that's up here. So that's his 3 main sizes, I would assume. So yeah, here they are. So that's what they are: 1/4, 5/16 and 3/8, longer ones and shorter ones. So those are his 3 main nut drivers. We've already seen stubbies. We've already seen these. Getting into here, so this bag folds completely open. It looks like he's using a V-swap panel. Looks like he also runs M18 tools as well in the background. He's got a grinder up there. That's one tool that we can see. So he's got insulated tools over here. He's got some Vera jokers up there in the top and back there in the back, along with he's got Knipex tweezers, different pliers. He's also got a, you can barely see it. It gets a little blurry. Let me zoom out. The micro or pipe vise, like the Amigo, or his is probably the longer version. I've got the small one. I think the longer one might be called the Amigo, and the one I have is the micro. So he's got that. That looks like that might be like a fuse puller or something. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, so that's kind of what that is right there. So he's got Knipex Cobras, Knipex Pliers rinsed and insulated, Vera Joker set insulated, NWS angled pliers. I've got the ones that look just like those. I've got a couple pairs of those actually. Knipex Forge Wire Stripper with the insulated. I'll be glad whenever we can get those in the US. And then also a couple insulated pairs of tweezers. Also some angled needle nose. And again, there's that pipe vise tool. I'm assuming that's pipe vise. There's probably some other ones out there that kind of look like theirs as well. Next picture, here's another section of that bag. This bag must have several different sections. I hadn't seen this one before. So that's a really big pliers wrench right there. He must leave that hanging out of the top, or he just leaves it down in there and he kind of put it there for this picture. Several pairs of channel locks. I'm pretty sure we'll check the next picture before I go crazy looking at these. He's been pulling them all out so far. And again, I try not to look at these ahead of time. So he's got some ratcheting wrenches. I can't tell the brand on those. Let's see if I zoom in one more time. Yeah, it gets a little blurry. I don't think we could see them on this last one either. So I'm not sure the brand on those. Several channel lock, tongue and groove type pliers, or again, I just call them channel locks. The Milwaukee adjustable wrenches, those are really good for the price. They're probably my favorite pair for the price. I like the Bacos now that I've tried those. But these for the price, you can buy the set with the 6, 10, and a 8, I believe it is. Or I know they have a 6 and a 10 together for like $20. And for 2 wrenches for that, they're really good wrenches in my opinion. They got a little bit fatter head than some of them. But other than that, they're really good wrenches. As far as the adjustment on them, it doesn't move. It's probably the least movement in the adjustment. So whenever you get it adjusted, you don't have to sit there and thumb it back and forth. I really like them personally, but it's one of the few Milwaukee like hand tools that I actually really like. But he's also got those. He's got some Knipex diagonals, the twin grips, some cobalt cutters. Looks like he's got the shear, what are the step cuts, maybe is what those are called, if I remember right. I've got a pair of them, but I think that's what they're called. Pair of Klein strippers, also a pair of crimpers right there with orange and black. I'm going to assume those are Klein's. Going to the next picture, so that was all of his CLC bag right there. So now we're getting into a Milwaukee tote, and I'm pretty sure it's a structured tote. It doesn't look like their standard one. He's also got a tough built drill holster on the front with his M18 driver in it. Maybe we'll see if that's an impact or a drill here in a minute. Several Milwaukee drivers, zip ties. Again, he's going to pull these out, but here's this part of that bag. So here are those screwdrivers that are down in the front right there. He's got a Klein small slotted, also Milwaukee Phillips and slotted, a Milwaukee, let's see, I can't tell what that says for the size on that. I'm not real sure. That looks like it's also a pass-through based on this picture right there. So it's the orange pass-through, which is, I want to say 9/16. That might be what that says right there. So again, he's got some insulated, slotted Phillips. The made in the USA slotted Phillips, also a demolition style driver, and then also a couple really demolition, or at least with the strike through caps of all the slotted screwdrivers right there. This side over here, you can kind of see the flip side. Looks like he's got another pipe vise, also some Knipex Cobras with that quick set button. Right there, that little red button. I haven't tried any of those yet either. Right angle adapter, Milwaukee strippers, some jumper wires. Again, we'll go on to the next picture because he's got them out. So Milwaukee scissors, Milwaukee right angle adapter. Again, the bigger of the adjustable wrench from Milwaukee. They've got wide jaw ones too. He's got pretty much every size available. He's got a couple other. And again, I'm assuming that these are pipe vise. You can let us know that in the comments below, 10B, if they're pipe vise. Maybe there's another brand out there that sells something kind of similar to them. I know Rigid has some tools that kind of look like that as well. Those might be Rigid for all I know. I haven't used my pipe vise enough, plus I've only got that real small one, so the handle looks a little bit different to know which one's what on those. But he's got every size of those. He's also got the smart grips up there, and then because those are the smart grips from Knipex, those are 10-inch. That means these other two pliers beside it are at least 12-inch. He's also got another service wrench, Malco with the sawtooth on it, 1/4 5/16, and then also a 1/4 5/16 Malco. So he's got all those things right there. Next picture, Let's see, what is this little bag here? I can't tell what the brand name on that is. A lot of times people are always looking for little bags and asking me questions about them. So he's also got another adjustable wrench, a small thermostat screwdriver, offset wrenches by Klein, another Malco, or I guess that's actually part of the bag, that zipper there. See what these all are. So again, another Milwaukee adjustable wrench, the pocket Klein. He's got a bunch of self-tapping screws in there. Again, sometimes hardware is what throws the trades off more than anything. He's also got a small tubing cutter, step bit, some hole saws up there as well. Another multi-stubby from Klein, also regular conduit, lock nut wrenches. Next picture's the other side. So he's got that Milwaukee USB light. So that's the older version. I've had that one before. I am kind of interested in that newer version that's real flat, that was on the Pipeline event, and Matt sent me some pictures. He did get a hold of one. I'm looking into maybe getting that one. But this one's a pretty good light too. I ended up not using it as much just because I got so many lights. And, you know, sometimes you won't see me talk about a tool, or maybe I even got rid of it, even though it's still a good tool, but it's just because I got so many. I can't keep everything. And because I try so many tools, I'm always willing and dealing tools. So I might have a tool one week and then not have it the next because I ended up selling it just so I could buy something else to try. And lights are one of those things where I kind of rotate through them like crazy just because I want to try something else. But you can't use, 20 lights all at one time. So you got to kind of just play with them as you go. But he's got that one. Again, that's a good light. I don't have it anymore, but I used to use that one. Milwaukee torpedo level, that's a good one as well, and a 25-foot magnetic tape measure. Here's his M18, so that is the impact. Actually, I believe that's the surge that he has there. So that's, other than that, everything else over here is what was in that side. And then here is that middle compartment. Looks like a field piece meter pouch. Also some blue handles, we're going to assume channel lock. Also some green handles. We'll see what they are here in just a second maybe. Yeah, that's what I was expecting them to be, with some snips. So he's got green snips, red snips. Also a folder. So he's got that. Again, field piece meter. You might be starting to draw in just a little bit closer at what he is. Lots of self-tapping screws. Now you got some snips. Now you got a folder. Now you got a field piece meter. You're starting to come together, at least what field he's in my opinion. You're starting to see that. We'll go to the next picture. So now we're into the DP3. So he probably just picked this up as part of the spring promotion. He's got a lot of stuff tucked inside that thing. He's got some jumpers along with a brush. And now you're really starting to see some things, in my opinion, that's pointing you in the direction of what side he's in. Lots of black handled screwdrivers that I'm not sure what those are yet. And then some Klein pliers, it looks like, up in the front. So we'll look here. So he's got probe, also a flashlight, a pill box full of, it looks like some crimp connectors. They get a little blurry when I zoom in, so I'm going to stay back here. Also, he's got this Klein pliers wrench slash, channel lock tool. That went on sale back at Home Depot when they were clearancing out Klein. I kept going in there checking it because I was wanting to buy it just to try it. I can't expect, or I don't expect, that it's better than having a pliers wrench and then also a pair of Cobras and using those two tools separate. But it's one of them that's a bag saver tool. Does it work well in both applications that you could get rid of both those tools? I'd like to know your comment and your feedback on that. Anybody that's got it. I ended up missing out on it. The time they dropped it real low was a day I didn't go in Home Depot, and the next day I went in there, that yellow tag was real cheap and they were all gone. So I ended up not getting one. I thought about getting it so many times, but I'm like, I'd just rather spend my money and buy a pliers wrench and a pair of Cobras. But maybe it's a really good tool. You guys can let me know that in the comments below. He's also got these Klein needle nose pliers here. I see a lot of people using those. Those are actually one of their pairs I haven't tried out yet, and it's probably the most used pair I see on, as far as in people's bags. Vessel screwdriver, that's not one of my favorites because the handle's so light. He's got the Klein stubby right there with the super stubby with the flip socket inside of it. There's his field piece meter. I'm not good enough on field piece to know the numbers. Sometimes on flukes I can just see them, but with that getting blurry, I'm not going to be able to tell you what that one is. Lots of Malcos, lots of bit holders, it looks like, of different kinds. He's got also the Vera little small wrench up there, right angle adapter from Milwaukee, a Klein adjustable wrench, And then I'm interested in these black screwdrivers. I'm curious what they are. I've not seen those. I've not seen that shape handle. So let us know that in the comments below as well. Looks like down here below he's also got some pack out, some nice metal drawers, and some other bags as well. But there's his DP3 all out. Next picture is the MB5B. So he's got this bag as well. Railer mag mat, also that ProFlex kneeling pad. Both those are really handy. M12 light over here on the side, along with an M12 something or other. So we'll see that in a minute. He also has lockout, tag out. Let's see. Still can't really tell what that is. I'm going to guess it's the Surge, though, just because his M18 looked like it was the Surge. So there's everything that was on the outside. He's also got some tapes over there. Next picture. So here's some other things outside on the outside of his bag, or these are probably what he keeps over in these side pockets, I would guess. So he's got that M500. I think that's that motor tester, if I remember right. And you can hook it up and it'll tell you whether the motor's good or bad. I don't have that, but I think I've got that in my wish list. I want to see. I saw, is his name Lex Vance or something or other? He had a video on that and he was using it. And I thought it was pretty interesting, just to save yourself from going through the process of figuring out by ohming things out and checking stuff for resistance and stuff like that. You basically just hook that up and it tells you without you having to do any calculations. I think that's what that is, but I'm not 100% sure. Again, I don't have it, so I don't know. He also has some field piece equipment, meter, also another one of those Milwaukee lights, so he likes that one. So again, more field piece stuff, more HVAC stuff that we're seeing. And here's how he keeps that up in there. So that's probably that motor. And then there's his light right there inside that pouch. Here's the back side, so that's where he keeps those at as well, back in the back. Here's some other tools that he keeps in the, looks like this is the front pouch. So again, more equipment for HVAC. Also some PB Swiss, it looks like hex keys with ball ends. So I don't think I'm missing anything else there that we're missing. Again, here's how he's just showing you how he keeps those things down inside of there. And then there's some bits, it looks like, magnetic parts tray. Again, here's even more of his equipment. So he's got PB Swiss drivers in here, along with some Klein drivers. Let's see, some zip ties back there in the back inside some PVC. Flashlights, some more Knipex insulated. Also, again, just basically the whole field piece set, you know, basically of stuff for HVAC. And then let's see, and I don't see anything else that we're missing. I'm gonna make sure he pulls these out. It looks like he does. So again, he's got the PV Swiss anniversary set on top of that. I've actually got that in my, I've been looking at that on House of Tools, thinking about buying it just because I like that color handle even better than the red, just to get me some regular PB Swiss drivers. And then he's got some insulated PB Swiss, fuse puller, more Klein adjustable wrenches, more Cobras, forged wire stripper, dipped handles. Let's see, more insulated Knipex as well. He's got the Klein 8 and 2, I guess it is, if I remember, that's the numbers that it's called, 8 and 2, like the box service type wrenches, ratcheting wrenches. Let's see, some of that's blurry up in there. I can't tell exactly what it is. He's also got a Tool Check Plus up there. And the next picture, there is his Tool Check Plus. He's got the SAE version. Then he's got some bits that have the actual, you know, numbers on them to tell you what they are on the side. So mine doesn't have that. I think maybe he might have put these in here. Maybe they sell a set that's like that. And then his last picture are his probe set there from Field Piece, and there's his name. So that's the last one. So going back through these just quickly, I guess, there's his MB5B tools. Again, you can kind of see some other things that are on the outside, probably right there. Going back, there's some more tools. There's some. And then there's his DP3, the tools that are mainly inside of that. And then we'll go back to his Milwaukee structured tote. Several different tools inside of that. And then there's his CLC. Again, he's got a V-swap panel. It looks like that he keeps inside of that as well. So there's those tools that are inside of his, you know, the first bag that we looked at. But after you've looked at his tools, take a guess down below at what you think Tim B does with those tools. To me, it's pretty obvious that he is in HVAC. I guess the neat thing to do with this one would be, what does he do with that CLC bag? What does he do with his DP3, his Milwaukee bag, and then also his MB5B? And you'll notice that he had 4 bags that we looked at, and some of them had all like similar tools in them. So he had adjustable wrenches in all of them, you know, Cobras or some kind of tongue and groove pliers in all of them, screwdrivers, even like some box wrenches in all of them. And that's been the hardest thing for me in running multiple bag setups when you're trying to choose your loadout, because I tell myself sometimes, well, if I'm going to run my MB5B and my, you know, TPLC or whatever it is, your brain tells you, well, you don't need the same tools in those bags, because that's the purpose of carrying 2 bags, is so that you got different tools. But it doesn't really work that way, because then I got to carry both bags in, because I might need a tool out of the LC, I might need a tool out of the MB5B. So to run the multiple bag system, you end up having to buy doubles of a lot of tools. And the only benefit of running multiple bags to me is, I've got this bag that does this, I've got this bag that does this, and I can take in this smaller bag sometimes, but it has to have some of the tools that are still in that big bag, because if not, I'm going to have to take that big bag every time. So that's always something I struggle with whenever I'm loading out and going to a multiple bag system. I really love running multiple bags, because again, I can save some heaviness of a big bag and not have to carry one all the time, because you put all your tools in just one bag, it can get crazy heavy, especially if you do a lot of different things. So that's why I like looking at loadouts like this. It kind of helps you decide, what do I need to do in multiple bag system. I think that's something that we can get from this video. But again, guess down below what it is you think Tim B does with these tools. Again, my guess is going to be HVAC. He didn't tell me in his email. He just said it's going to be pretty obvious, and I feel like it is. And I'm sure one of those bags is for his installs, one bag is for service, and then some other stuff just in general that he keeps around. So comment down below what you think he does. Also, what do you think he does with each bag? Interested to see what those comments are. Hope this video was helpful and useful. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. See you on the next video.